Good evening. I am Lisa J. Stocks, and I am here tonight, and we're going to have a panel, hopefully, with more guests showing up. But so far, we have Jackie and Anthony, who happens to have his name showing as Lisa's number one fan. So I'm going to
Absolutely.
start off with ladies first. Jackie, can you please introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your channel.
Hi, I'm Jackie. Right now, I have two channels. I have one for my Spanish community, which is called Conecto de Crédito, and I have my English one, which is called Credit Connector. Basically, what I try to do is give the public a little bit of information about credit cards, personal loans, business loans, and I just want them to try to leverage their credit and get the best credit products out there for them. A lot of people don't know what they can, you know, access, and they're lacking out on a lot of the credit products that they can't, and they think that credit is bad. So I just basically want to educate them a little bit more on credit.
Okay, okay. And Anthony, can you please tell us about your channel?
So I'm Lisa's number one fan, as you guys know, and I'm I'm so happy. I'm blessed to be here in you guys' presence. But no, my channel is just my name, Anthony Venture. Kind of, I guess, slightly on a flip side is Jackie. A lot of people I think I tend to speak to is people who I guess have rebuilt their credit. They've been able to get out of debt and all these different things. They're doing well financially. They have the good credit score, and now they're like, okay, we have the house, we have everything. Now, how could we take advantage of our credit in the best way possible? Meaning, like getting a bunch of different credit cards, getting the welcome offers, getting a lot of points and miles, using that for free vacations for the future. So it's like, and a lot of the times I end up talking about not only like taking vacations, but a lot of time I'm a real estate agent in South Carolina. So I try to merge the two and also get a lot of people some advice for like first time home buyers and stuff like that. But because I just remember always an experience I had many years ago where I had some clients for real estate, and I remember they were going to buy a house and they looked to their kids, these parents, and they were like, we could buy this house, but we're not going to be able to vacation, next year, or the next 2 years. And I was like, oh my goodness, if only you knew you could get these cards for the points, and that pays for your vacations completely, mostly outright. Then you can take a million vacations and buy the house. So I think it's just a powerful thing that who doesn't like more vacations. So that's who I just kind of I think align with at the moment.
Okay, okay. I
I
guess I guess I'm not Anthony's biggest fan because I did not know that you were a real estate agent, but
Unbelievable.
good to know, good to know. I need to watch more content and get caught up.
No.
Um, Thank you guys that Double Speak is the only person speaking in the chat so far, but thank you for everyone who is watching and tuning in so far. Please drop any questions or comments that you have in the chat. But we're going to start having our conversation for tonight. I think others will be showing up, but we're going to be talking about not just investing in stock market tonight, because a lot of our guests that are coming on tonight, they're what they share a lot of on their YouTube channels is related to credit. So we're going to be talking about some different topics, but all money related. And we have another guest that just showed up. So let me add him to the panel.
The guilty party is.
oh,
Sledge.
It wouldn't be me if I was on time. You already know.
Hi, Sledge. Great to
How y'all
see you.
doing?
I'm good. I
Good,
was I
good.
was talking about you. I was like, Sludge asked me to host for the community. Where is he?
They
Um,
already know I'm gonna be late.
okay.
Anthony already knew.
I tried to give you a 2-minute grace period, but we got started. So, Sludge, can you introduce yourself, and can you also tell us what is the community and why was this formed?
All right. Introduce myself. I have a general introduction, man. It is your boy Sledge from the Sledging team, and I am here with a great group of people. The community basically is it's a group of. It started off as a group of minority overall finance credit card. It started off with credit card YouTubers, and then we kind of expanded out to different finance forms of finance. That's how we got Lisa over here. We got Jackie over here. Jackie does overall credit. And from that point, we wanted to bring in my brother over here, Lisa's #1 fan. But yeah, you know what? It's a group that I think people could go to and get all aspects of credit, and they don't have to worry about if getting the information from certain people. If they don't like the information from me, they can go and get it from Anthony. If they don't like it from Jackie, they can go get it from Lisa. So we just want to combine everything, and on top of that, we do these group topics to where we just throw out a bunch of information because the community is here to help the community. And yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Thank you so much for that. And I heard that Joe is under the weather. I hope you're feeling better, Joe. If you were tuning in or catch the replay, you are in our thoughts. So I made a lot of the questions based on Joe and Key, and so I was like, where are they? But I hope that everyone could go along with it. But one of the first topics that I had written down was based on something that Joe had shared, and he was saying that he was a victim of credit card fraud. And I wanted to forget about freezing your credit. And if that's something that you do on a regular basis, if you keep your credit frozen, have any of you ever experienced identity theft or checked on your credit report or something like that and found that something like that was going on?
Who want to go first?
I could go first.
Okay.
So actually, that's a great question, and that's really important. A lot of people don't know that they should freeze their credit at all times, especially in the times that we're living, that there's so much scams going on. AT&T that was hacked among hospitals and everything else. My stuff is out there. It's in the black web. So if I don't keep everything locked, then I could be very easily hacked. And it's not only your credit, is if they steal your information and they do illegal things with this, and you're trying to get on a plane on a Friday night, you can get arrested and you won't be let out until Monday morning. So this topic is really important. The only time that you should keep your credit unfrozen is when you're ready to apply for a credit card. Other than that, it should be frozen at all times. And it's extremely easy. You can do it on your phone, on the computer. It just takes probably less than 1 minute to freeze and unfreeze each of them. I am going to tell you, just because I get patients approved, usually they tell you to unfreeze it right before. I always tell the patients to unfreeze it 24 hours prior to applying. That way there's no hiccups when you're ready to apply for a credit. But that's a great question.
Okay, so Jackie, you said you just go on the computer, and so is this something you have to do for each account? Does this cover all of your accounts? What do you mean by freezing your credit? How do you actually do it? Can you just talk a little bit more about how you do it?
Yeah, I'm sorry, my dogs are barking. So yes, I go into, let's say, TransUnion. I log in if I have to put any information, and it tells you, do you want to freeze your account, your credit, or unfreeze it? I do the same thing from Equifax, and I do the same thing with Experian. And that's how I freeze it and unfreeze it. It's like I said, it's so simple to do that it just takes a couple of minutes to do it for each credit bureau.
Okay. And this is primarily to keep someone from being able to open an account in your name and do things in that way, right?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay.
Remember, sometimes you might have, a lot of people have Credit Karma. While that notifies you that somebody already opened the account, it's already open. So the only way you can prevent that is by freezing those credits. Yeah.
Okay. So that you'll be getting the alert after the fact when it's a little too late. Okay. All right.
And once you have something on your credit, it's just so difficult to remove it. Yes, it could be done even if it's fraud, but you have to be in top of it. It's time consuming and it's just a hassle. So let's try to prevent it so it just doesn't happen.
For sure.
Okay. So what when it comes, let's try to go back and forth so we can get some stock market stuff mixed in with the credit stuff. So when it comes to investing, what is everyone's focus? Is it retirement? Are you investing outside of retirement? Are you trying to get more exposure to crypto because of, what's going on with our new president? What is your main focus? Let's start with Anthony on this one.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit. I guess I would say, at least in my, I don't know if this is like general advice for the people, but at least for me, what I've always done is, even though I do know that the S&P will beat basically anyone on Earth, just buying that, dollar cost averaging over time, over 50 years, you're gonna beat everyone else. That's conventional wisdom. I've always been really in love with some of the details and getting really deep into the nitty gritty of companies. And I like to find and read the balance sheets. I like to look at the financials. I like to figure out how healthy the company is. Is this a good opportunity? So I'm very much more of like an individual stock picker, I guess is what you would call it, and to value the company at current day and where it could possibly go for the future. And it's just, I don't know, it's the way that I've always, I don't know. I've always felt strongly about certain companies, and like it's never necessarily led me astray. When I felt very strongly about one and everything else lined up, I just would invest in that. And at least as far as like strategies that I've employed over the years, I mean, basically it was absolutely save everything, invest first. Obviously some necessities, but most of my like adult years were spent just working, not going out, not doing anything, just saving 90% of the income, spending $125 at the store a month on my food, just for me, living at home, and just take everything else 90% and throw it into, well, in some cases S&P 500, or in this case individual stocks, and just go really hard with it. And I honestly think that's a great way to do it. Like, not as far as individual stock picking, because it can be a little worrisome, and it has been. It's been very tumultuous. But I think one of the most important things that anyone could do is just cut your expenses down to like bare bones, take the difference and invest it in probably at least it would, say like a VTI or an SEP, and just do that for many years, and you'll definitely you won't be poorer in 5 years, right? You'll have at least forced a bank account, forced piggy bank, essentially investing. So I don't know if that answers the question, but that's just how I've thought about it and what I've done.
Being in real estate, what does your retirement look like? Does your employer contribute, or do you have to do it completely independent on your own?
So real estate is, to be a real estate agent or a realtor, you really don't have anything. Like basically, you pay a membership fee to become a realtor. The difference between a real estate agent and a realtor is you basically have access to what's called the MLS, which is just our back end to see all the houses that are going on the market day to day. So this way I could send them to you, something like that. But with that, you get a membership. So you get access to like some parties every year, like realtor events. You get access to the MLS. You get access to little lockbox codes so you can get into each house. But on top of that, you don't get any, health insurance. You have no insurances whatsoever. That's all private. You have to do it yourself. There's basically nothing. Basically, you get nothing as a realtor. So as far as retirement is concerned, no, you better, anything you earn in real estate or anything self-employed, take 30% for taxes, maybe invest the difference and save the difference on the side and that's your retirement essentially.
Okay.
It's just one of those things where if you're working for a company, you're getting paid all those different things on top of your actual income, right? You're earning 100,000 a year, but then you're also getting health insurance and dental and all these different things. Realtor, maybe you can have a more uncapped earning potential. Maybe you can make 500K if you're crazy, but you're also going to get taxed much heavier, and you don't have that insurance. So there's a give and take to everything, I would say. So yeah, it's not secured with real estate.
It sounds like you have to be very responsible, but it sounds like you're on track with it. We're in the beginning, like your first year, were you on track with doing what you needed to do as far as putting enough money aside for taxes and getting on track with doing your investments on your own? Or did it take a little time?
Well, I guess at least for me personally, it was I became a real estate agent at the same time that I moved from my home state. So I no longer had an income. I was from New York. I moved to South Carolina. So I had no more income whatsoever at all. No, nothing. So all my investing basically got done between, I mean, honestly, like 2021 all the way through 24, I would say. And I just went super hard with that. And I really have not necessarily contributed consistently since then, personally, just because I had no income and it's just all YouTube and real estate. Those are my only jobs right now. And all of that has been funding, rent, housing, all those different things. So I still have obviously the nest egg from all that investing and savings from over the years, which is why I recommend a lot of people like build that up while you're living at home. So this way now I can just let that grow, hopefully in the account, and then, make everything else work. But I live a very different life, not a standard W-2 that most people are on. And it's definitely it's hard. It's hard because you don't know when the next paycheck's going to come, right? So it's tough for sure.
All right. Well, Sledge or Jackie, do you have anything to share on where you're at currently when it comes to investing? What is your primary focus?
Well, if I can step in for Jackie, I want to say the lady for last. Right now, mine's pretty boring right now. Like right now, I'm pretty much index funds. I'm at an age right now to where I'm just for the long run. Everything is for the long run. I have a few individual stocks that I've picked, and I might as well say those are for the long run too, because I've held on to them for so long. Anthony and anybody that knows my journey know that I quit a job that I worked for 23 years and I lived off my savings for an entire year. But I was able to do that because for the longest, I would take 10% of anything that I made, no matter where the money came from. I would invest 5% and I would save 5%. I'd invest 5%, I'd save 5%. And when I say I didn't work for a year, it was like I lived my life as if, how could I put it? I would say it was the best time I ever had in my life. It was the best time I ever had in my life because I was able to travel and kick it and do whatever I wanted to do. But at the same time, I still had my whatever savings I didn't spend while I was out. Right now, I just have Roth IRA. I max out my Roth IRA and my traditional IRA every year, and I have my individual stock. So yeah, mine's pretty boring right now. Like it's pretty boring right now.
Boring is okay. Some people that are out here doing something that they think is, a little more adventurous, they're not making the steady, consistent growth that we are. So boring investments are okay with me. So Jackie, anything to share on this question?
I just wanted to say that when I was doing more of the individual stocks and try to keep up with it, you know what? It's hard. It's hard to do it. And when I found out that 90% of stockbrokers don't beat the S&P 500, I'm like, why do I think I can do it all the time? You know what I mean? So it really made me take a different look at things. But I ain't going to interrupt you no more, Jackie. Go ahead.
So yeah, I have my Roth IRA. I do have my 401k, which that is the safety net, I guess. I have become a little bit more risky lately. As you guys know, we do have right now a pro crypto administration. I think we're still new to the game. And I don't believe, at least I don't have the time or the knowledge to be buying, selling. I like to put a little bit each time and just keep it there. I am invested in crypto right now. Like I said, we do have the crypto administration, especially American crypto. And I like the coins. I don't like so much like the memo coins, like what Trump took out or his wife. I'm more into the stable coins. Definitely, like I told them before we started, my son, when he was 17, he was doing minding. I knew back then about crypto, but because he jumps from one thing to another, I didn't pay too much attention. I did have a little bit of money from back then, but as it started becoming a little bit more popular, I have put more money, and I have seen where it's grown. And for me, I think there's a lot of potential there, into the crypto. I think it's going to basically increase much faster right now than the stocks. If you kind of see what's going on around the world, it's not just here in the United States, but the president of El Salvador bought several Bitcoins. That tells you something. That tells you a lot. When they talk about the Bitcoin maybe being the reserve of the United States, and when you see that, Trump's kids are into the crypto, you have to kind of look into it. And, sometimes, like I tell people, I work actually now for Christmas. Instead of giving them a $20 gift, what I did said, I'm going to send you $20, but this is what's going to happen. You're going to download the Robinhood app, and you're going to put it in XRP. Because at this point, unless you're putting a lot of money into the Bitcoin, you're not going to really see anything. But if you put $100 in XRP, and maybe in 5 years, it's $50,000, let's just say, you made some good money there. And that way, not only I'm helping them, but I'm showing them as well how to invest and how to have some money put away. So for me, that's right now what I'm kind of more, invested in. Like I said, I have gotten a little bit risky. I have, taken out money of an interest-free credit card and put it in my crypto. And I do think that in 18 months, I am going to be able to pay off that credit card, and I'm going to have some gains there. So I would tell everybody, this is not financial advice, but I would definitely tell everybody to kind of look into the crypto. You can do a $10 investment right now. And even if you buy 3 XRP, if that goes up in 10 years like Bitcoin did, it's better to lose $10 than not to cry later on.
Okay, Jackie, I think we were on another show another time, and you asked if I had ever considered doing that.
Yes.
I have not. And you're not sharing any dollar amounts on this, but it's making me wonder what is going on with your situation. But it sounds like you have a plan. And even if the plan does not work the way that you anticipated, you'll be able to manage it because,
I'll give you an idea. A year ago, when I bought more XRP, it was at $1.57. Even when it's gone a little bit down, I'm still ahead of the game.
Okay.
So I'm still winning up there.
So currently XRP is $2.41 for those of you who are not in tune with that.
Yes.
But I think we're answering Lonnie's question. Lonnie was mentioning here, are you anticipating any changes or considering making any changes to your investment strategy now that with the new presidential administration? And yes, Lonnie, I would say yes to that question when it comes to me. After the election, between election and, into December, I did increase my crypto position based on the election results and what was going on with Bitcoin. And that's only when I started my position into XRP. Prior to that, I didn't have XRP in my portfolio. So I did not, those are the only two that I would say I've increased. I haven't increased my Ethereum position or any other cryptos in my portfolio. But yes, it was related to the administration. And is there before we move on to another question, guys, if you want to take a station break to acknowledge anyone in your chat, I know we are dual streaming. Is there any other questions or anything that you want to take a break and take a look at?
There's somebody, Mendes, he says, I think buying gold and silver is more secure than crypto. Yes, right now buying gold and crypto, buying gold and silver is also a big plus right now. definitely that is a win-win.
Yeah, I'm still not sold on crypto yet. Like I'm just not sold on it.
I'm gonna send you $20, buddy. You better put Robinhood.
When you are a trillionaire, and I'm like, I'm still not sold on it. I'll be crying on the inside, but I will never show you. But yeah, you know, it's funny is my mother-in-law told me about Bitcoin. She's the first person I ever told me about Bitcoin, and this was
Really?
man, I couldn't tell you how long ago it was. It probably was 20-something years ago. I had no idea what Bitcoin was. But, you know, they were using it like on the dark web and things like that, you know what I'm saying, to purchase stuff during that time. And I just think about how it evolved from that to being so mainstream now. It's just crazy. But, yeah, eventually it's going to get there. But I'm just not ready to deal with it at this point.
Okay, we have another comment here. It says, how do you not give into the noise? I liquidated some VTI in 2024 to get NVIDIA stock. NVIDIA basically hasn't moved while VTI is up $20 per share. And since I sold my VTI, I got a question like this recently where someone was like, Lisa, I know you don't give financial advice, but should I sell this in order to buy this? And I was like, listen, the two things you're considering selling VTI to buy, it was a similar scenario. I wouldn't be able to sell my VTI to buy NVIDIA. I wouldn't sell, I wouldn't sell my Palantir or my NVIDIA to buy VTI either. Either way, I wouldn't do it. I would hold on to both, and I would try to find money to buy the investment that I did not have in my portfolio that I wanted exposure to. So I'm a long-term investor. I haven't made any moves like that yet, where VTI is one of my foundational investments, so I definitely holding on to that. And NVIDIA is one of my long-term blue chip stocks, so I'm holding on to that one too. So that's not a move that I would make in my portfolio. I don't sell a lot. I know I say this probably every time. One of the last things I can remember that I had, and it wasn't a substantial amount. I did sell all of my Ford. I didn't have a lot though. Sold all of my Ford and I sold all of my JetBlue. But because those investments weren't doing anything, there were a small position. I said I can definitely move that over into some tech stock or something that even Amazon or Home Depot or something that would move much better. But yeah, I've never sat down and had that thought of let me sell this ETF or this thriving blue chip stock. I just hold on and I'll just try to find some money, even if it's small amounts, in order to build into the other position that I want to have in my portfolio.
Yeah.
So, guys, Sledge, help me out here. How am I doing with hosting tonight?
So you don't want me to rate you, but now you're doing good.
Lisa, can I ask Anthony a question? Because he was talking that he was a real estate agent. And that's funny, Anthony, because today I did a video on the Bilt card and I heard, which I'm sure you know, that if you can buy, tell us how it works.
So, okay, so for people who aren't aware, what Jackie's mentioning, she's talking about the Bilt card. The Bilt card is infamous for being the card for rent, right? Like if you use your Bilt card, you can use this credit card to pay your rent, and they'll waive the 3% fee that most of these complexes will charge, thus making it a great card to pay your rent with, because you don't get any fees and you get some points for that again, you could use for, hopefully vacations and stuff for the future. But they recently introduced something. I don't actually know if there's a name of it, but essentially you can go and buy a house and they will give you 0.5 points per dollar that you spend on the house. So if you buy a $500K house with one of their agents, you'll get 250,000 Bilt points. Then again, you can use that for travels and vacations and stuff like that. And basically the way it works is they have their program, you contact through them. It has to be an EXP agent. If you read the fine print, it seems as if they actually have to I guess they already have pre-sponsored agents that are under them, and I think they probably like pay. There's some sort of marketing in there, but they will send you that agent if there's one in the area that's eligible to earn these Bilt points with. So sadly, I upon finding this out, I was like, maybe I should change my brokerage over to EXP to be able to help people out, buy this house with the Bilt card, so. I think it's great. I mean, I think it's powerful. I think they're gonna, it's gonna change a lot of people's minds. Some people always say like, "Oh, that's not gonna convince me to, go with their agent." But I'm like, anybody who's in any, credit card points and miles niche like me and Sledge and you as well talking about is like, why wouldn't you? Like, if you don't already have a dedicated agent, family, friend, what have you, you might as well use theirs. And again, that's a big caveat on. Are they a good agent? Are they a bad agent? We can get into that whole conversation because, a good agent can save you way more than those 250K points just in getting the right deal, getting the right things like that. So that's the general of what they're able to do. Yeah, I love it, though. I think it's very cool.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear that news.
Jackie, is that the type of account that you use to pay your mortgage?
So yeah, Anthony, I mean, for 2025, it's going to roll out that you can pay your mortgage, but I've been paying my mortgage since last year with it. I tried to do it with the ACH, and for some reason it was sent back, it was declined. But then what I do is I just send them the check. I put my mortgage information and I just have the check delivered. It does take a little bit long. It takes like 12 days. So I try to send it 2 weeks prior to the first, so make sure it gets there by the 15th and I don't get charged anything by the mortgage, but I have not had no hiccups. The only thing is that when you do it, or you pay your rent or anything like that, you have to make 5 transactions with the card in order to get the bonus. So you can 5 coffees, 5 Cokes, it's pretty simple. And you can pay your HOA as well.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
These are things we have to pay anyway. Why don't we get the points for it?
Yeah, whenever I have to do those 5 transactions, I'll go to Publix and I'll buy like 5 individual tortilla wrapper things, and I'll just do 1, finish the transaction, 2, finish, and I'll do like 4 of them, and then you're good. Then you're good. You got your 5 transactions.
The teller must really like you, the cashier.
Oh, yeah. They appreciate it. Yeah.
Hey, you got a question enough for you, Lisa? You from YouTube Experiment.
For Lisa's #1 fan, this is for Anthony. Anthony, do you see this question?
Oh, that's funny. You got a question, Anthony?
So Jesse from YouTube Experiment says, I have a question for Lisa's #1 fan. Are you still valuing hotel cards highly, or are you booking more through concierge services from credit card issuers, i.e. MasterCard, Amex, Visa? So I'll just, for anybody who's unaware, if you have cards like, let's say, Amex Platinum card, right? These high premium cards, Chase Sapphire Reserve, Capital One Venture X, and some MasterCards, most MasterCards, you can get access to what's called like essentially partner hotel programs. So you can book these hotels, and they're usually more upscale, more luxurious, also sometimes a little more pricey, right? But when you book through these cards, you'll get extra benefits. Like you'll go to a hotel and they'll say, hey, thank you for being a valued customer. Here's a $100 credit to use at the on-site restaurant or the on-site bar or something like that, or even a spa service. They'll give you like daily breakfast. So here's $70 voucher for breakfast every single day. We'll even give you 4 p.m. late checkout. And if you guys have not had 4 p.m. late checkout, especially if they let you get in at like 12, over 24 hours in a hotel is an amazing trip. So he's asking like, do you care about some hotel cards, like getting a Hilton Aspire card or some of these hotel specific cards, or should you just get these other cards that you can have access to these preferred hotel programs to get all those benefits? My thought is, and Sledge has thoughts on this, I'm sure as well, is I think hotels are great. I think you use them, in conjunction with one another. The only issue that comes in when you try to book those preferred hotels is sometimes they are really expensive. And in some cases, you can't even pay it with points. Like in the world of MasterCard, you have to pay cash. And in our niche, everyone wants to buy it with points. So it makes sense. It like depends. If you're bankrupt in points and you can't buy a hotel with points, then sure. You know, if you're going to pay cash anyway, yes, I would prefer a decent priced preferred hotel program in that case. So I don't know. For me personally, yeah, if I'm bankrupt at all my hotel cards, I don't have any more points. Yeah, I'll continue on with the MasterCards, the Amex FHRs, and what have you for sure.
So you guys that are you guys talk a lot about credit cards. Would you mind sharing what your credit card utilization is so that people don't think that well, I'm thinking
Sledge.
Would you mind sharing?
Yeah. For me, okay. I think my credit card utilization is going to be different than the amount that I owe on a due date, because for most people, you know, you really want to be 10% and less. You know, the credit card companies say 30%, and that's fine too. I would say 10% or less. But like, just say for instance, in my case, or probably in Anthony's case, or a lot of people that do this, we have at the point where we have so much credit, you know, so much credit allotted to us that it's hard to get to 10%. If you understand what I'm saying. Currently, right now, I probably have, if I added it up, I probably have over 400,000 in credit allotted to me. So getting up to 10% of that, you know what I'm saying, it's extremely hard. So I don't look at what reports, because I know it's not going to be up to 10%, but I pay it off, and I pay off my credit cards in full every single month, unless I'm doing something with a 0% interest card. And even with that, because I have so much credit allotted to me, it's still going to be way less than 10%.
Okay. Yeah. You answered the question, because I don't want the viewers to think that all this credit card usage and talk equals debt, you know.
Right.
And I know being around you guys and hearing you guys talk about different things, it made me take a look at how much available credit I have to my name, and because it just wasn't a concern to me. Right. But something that Key had mentioned in one of her videos made me take a look, and I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, it's very easy for me to be at a 0 to 1% utilization, because I'm paying off my bills in full as quickly as possible, but I also have a very high combined limit available to me. Right. So
I got a question for you. Do you take the cash back from your cards, and this could go to Jackie and Anthony as well? Do you take the cash back from your cards and ever reinvest that?
I do. I will invest the cash. And when it comes to points, I usually use that for gift cards, which then I can use to, like, I'm real basic with what I do. I'll get like Walmart, gas station, some basic gift cards, and then I can use those for the month. So that eases up. I don't have to spend money on groceries and gas for the car and a few different things. And then I can use that money for investing. It gives me a break from having to pay for the household things. And what I'll do is I don't usually do my food shopping at the Super Walmart, but if I get the gift cards on that particular month, I'm going to go to the Super Walmart and I'm going to get the laundry detergent and the paper products and all of the things, just to give my budget that break, and then I can use cash for something else.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys?
Can I answer the question on the utilization?
Good.
Yeah, okay. So what I tend to do when I'm going to use a card and I want to max out my card, I tend to always go with the interest free, but I don't do it on the personal side. I always leverage those type of cards on the business side, because the business does not report to the personal. So on my personal, I'm always 8-9% utilization. Again, if I need to max out a card, which is going to be an interest-free card, and those are the only cards that I would max out to that kind of level, it would always be on the business side. You understand, Lisa? Because the business, when you max out a card that's under your business, it will never report to the personal side unless you go with like TD Bank or something like that. Most
Capital One.
cards, do not report. And if you ever need to and you have some type of business, it's always better to do it on the business side. That way you don't hurt the personal side. And when I hear them, I have credit. I don't have 400,000 in credit. But you want to always get credit when you don't need it, even if you don't use it. Because the day you need it and you look desperate on paper, that's when the bank is going to tell you no. So it's always good to have it. Even if you don't use it, you just leave it there because you never know when you will need it. That's just my thought on that. Oh, and the cards, I never get gift cards. I always try to use my points and everything for travel because I think that's how I get the best, the more out of it.
No. Rod backstage.
Oh, he is. Okay, let me check on that. Investing with Rod. Hello, Rod.
Hey, how y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Pretty good.
All right, cool. Yeah, I happened to get home and turn my TV on and saw y'all live. I was like, oh man. And I checked my DMs and saw I had a message from Sledge. I was running around all day, so my apologies.
Okay, so I think I took Rod out of the description, but I will add him in, guys. I will add him back in, but everyone who's on the panel right now, you can find their YouTube channel in my video description. And
thank you.
Please take a look at that because I haven't been dropping channels, but the descriptions are there if you're watching from my side.
Hey, I want to say something real quick. I want to give you a big shout out to the growth of your channel. I didn't say it on my channel. I want to say it in front of your viewers. I want to give you a big shout out to the growth of your channel and definitely your subscribers and your supporters, because it's obvious that you're giving out some valuable information because your channel has been skyrocketing, and that says a lot about you and the information that you've been giving it out. So yeah, I just wanted to give you your flowers while I was up here.
I saw that too.
Thank you, Sledge. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
And I did see you. There was a post that you put in the Discord, and it touched my heart. Okay, so investing with Rod.
Hey,
Rod, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit? Do you want to tell us about what you're doing on your channel?
Yeah, I can do that. My name is Investing. Actually, my name is Rod. I'm tripping, y'all. I have a couple of different channels on YouTube. I have my flagship channel, Points Blank Travel Points with an S, where I talk about what Sledge and Anthony and everybody else talk about, traveling with points and miles for free or little money. Then I have in my newest channel, Investing with Rod, where I'm talking about stocks, crypto, exchange traded funds or ETFs, tracking different portfolios that I have, showing people how to invest on a budget, $5, $10 a week or 2 weeks or pay period. Then I have a third channel, which I do interviews. I don't even want to talk about that because this is more finance driven live stream. So it's amazing. I can tell you it's a lot of talent, a lot of knowledge on the screen right now. So it's an honor to be here with Lisa, Anthony, Sledge, the rest of the community, Joe, Chad, and the list goes on and on. Keys. So that's it, man. Just subscribe to my biggest push right now and is Investing with Rod, the investment channel. You'll see me comment as Points Blank Travel in the comments, which is my channel, but you'll see my name on the screen as Investing with Rod. But
okay, that's the channel that I will tag on this one because I know that's the one that you are trying to work on growing. But you mentioned investing on a budget. Let's take a look at Rodrigo's comment here. And they're saying, what is a secure company to dump into your IRA? I think they're asking for an individual stock pick. I think Costco is pretty secure, but it's pretty expensive right now. It hit $1,000 today. So I don't put a lot of individual stocks into my retirement account. I do have some, including NVIDIA. But I don't let the stock price deter me from investing into something. Because if you've been here, if you know my channel, you've probably heard me say this before. When I got started investing into Amazon and Tesla, Google, definitely Bitcoin, those prices were very, very high. Before the stock splits. Right now, some of these investments that I mentioned are a more attainable price to buy a full share. But that doesn't deter me. If you think that is the quality investment that you want to be part of your portfolio, I don't know how much I would put into that particular individual stock, though I have also said this. I have targeted my portfolio. I wish I had gone with Costco or Walmart or Home Depot or lots of other investments in that area, as opposed to choosing to dabble in some Target. But don't let the stock price hold you back from quality investments, whether it's an ETF or an individual stock. Just do your research and let that be your way of making a decision, because I think there are plenty of brokerages that allow for fractional shares. And so even if you have to go about a stock that has $1,000 stock price, you might have to go at it $50 at a time, $100 at a time, whatever works with your budget, and just focus on it in that way. So,
what's Rod's thought on that?
I agree with Lisa. I started wanting individual stocks, and y'all, somebody on this screen may not have been born back then, but I started with, I wanted individual stocks, but I ended up starting with 2 mutual funds by American Funds. I will say there is a thrill, in my opinion, to have an individual stock, to say you own an individual stock. It is a thrill there. So I would find something safe, something that you really believe in, something that you know is going to be around, or you feel is going to, no one knows, you feel it's going to be around a while, like Amazon, or maybe a Google or a Microsoft. And just take one, just pick one. But I have to agree with Lisa, not because she's on the panel, but if you're just starting, or even if you're seasoned and you want to sit it and forget it investment, S&P 500 ETF or a total market ETF like VTI, or even a sector, if you're into the communications sector, the finance sector, I would go that route, because you can invest your money consistently and not lose sleep at night. Because where Amazon may lose money, Google may make money, and then Microsoft somewhere in the middle, and you're still ahead. So that's my 2 cents.
Agreed. Okay, so let me take a look at the chat. I have another comment here. If you have a 401k with your job, do you guys still hold IRAs or other investment accounts? I do. So I know Jackie already shared that she does also. Anthony's saying he has to do his own thing because he works in an industry where it's not provided to him. Sledge, are you doing both?
Yes, I'm maxed out my you can only put so much in Roth and traditional combined. So yeah, I max out those. I don't know, for the last, I don't know how many years. So yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're doing both. We're doing more than just the retirement through our employer. So Rod, are you officially retired?
Yes, technically I am retired. I retired from the Navy in 2009 after 20 years. And from the date I retired, which was September 30th, I'll receive a check for the rest of my life. Free medical, free dental. And it comes along with a COLA, or a cost of living allowance. looking at that question, that's a great question because I go back and Sledge just really hit home with something. Like once I retired, I started another job. I have a 401k. I love it because they make it extremely inconvenient to get your money. I mean, I love it. So I did create several brokerages. I have several brokerage accounts, but I never created an IRA because Rod and capped just don't go together. I don't like being capped. So why? Plus, I had a job which I was kind of working that's going to have a pension the rest of my life. Anyway, not at 65, not at 55. My pension started at 39. Young enough to be able to go get another job, establish a 401k and other brokerage accounts. And here I am today. But yes, I am officially retired. And for all of you that think it's fun and can't wait, it is extremely boring.
So, Rod, before you came on, we were talking about if we've changed our investing strategy related to crypto because of the new administration. Since the election until now, from election to inauguration, did you do a significant amount of investing into crypto?
No, Lisa, I didn't. What I did, I kept my same strategy. However, I wouldn't say November 5th, but probably right after Thanksgiving, the first week of December, I started living in regret. And it wasn't the election that made me that I started investing once the election happened. I regretted that I didn't invest prior to the election happening more. I was investing, but everything skyrocketed. But no, I did not keep my same dollar cost average strategy, which every time I get paid by YouTube, I deposit some money into my investment accounts. Every time I get my pension check from the Navy, I deposit some money into my brokerage accounts. Every time I get money from sponsorships or whoever, I'm investing a portion. So the election didn't make me change. The election only made me wish, and Lisa didn't ask this, but I want to say this in less than 10 seconds. You may be working and have a 401k, 3%. That's what they're going to start you at. Please, if you have any extra money, go to 3.5%, 4%, 5%, anything, because my biggest thing right now, not only with the election, retirement, everything I've done in my life, I wish I would have done more when I could have.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely a priority. And for those of you who might be getting a tax refund this year, that might be another source of a place if you haven't been increasing, out of your paycheck, haven't been increasing 1% over the last few years. This might be an opportunity to do a catch-up additional investment. So I don't know, guys. Any other questions or topics or thoughts that you had for tonight?
I want to ask Rod about the investment. The same question we asked earlier, and I think I know the answer for Rod. Any income that you have, like not income, but any cash back you get from credit cards, because I know you do a lot of the cash back cards. You reinvest that money?
Great question, Sledge. Yes, and y'all, this isn't scripted. I have no idea what Lisa, Jackie, Anthony, or Sledge is going to ask me. So yes, I actually have designated, and I'm very methodical how I do stuff. When you retire and you get a little older, you have two choices. You can either fall to the wayside or get extremely active. I chose the active route. Answering that question, I say, I'm going to take my cashback cards and I'm going to invest. But I took a third card in that equation and made it cashback for travel. So I use my custom cash card, 5%, wherever I go that I use the most for investments. I use my, for travel. I use my Discover It card, 5% rotating categories for investments. Now, any cash back that I make from my Discover It card, which is extremely easy to get, any money I get back, I want to make sure I put that in a solid investment. But that's the money that I will take and roll the dice. Why? Okay, let's just say on a given month, I max out. I get $25 cash back on Discover. Well, I may take $12.50, and this is real, and put it on one stock that Nancy Pelosi talked about, and I may take $12.50 and put it on another stock Nancy Pelosi talked about. I'm gambling. I don't even know these two companies. Never heard of no Tempest, never heard of Vistra Energy. Invested in both of them. I don't care if I lose every dollar because it's cash back that I earned from going to the grocery store buying stuff that I was going to buy anyway. That's it.
I hear people say, like, don't invest what you're not afraid. Invest what you're willing to lose, and invest the throwaway money. You will never hear me saying these things. I don't have any throwaway money. I don't have an intention of letting my investments go down to zero. I know which two investments Rod is talking about, and you had a reason. You were following, you were being a copycat off of a good person to copy off of. So I think you'll be okay.
I had two reasons, Lisa. One was you, because your video led me to watch that.
To the article about him.
Hey, but Lisa, thank you, because that stuff is making some money, y'all.
Yeah. People have created whole companies just tracking Nancy Pelosi's trades, and they've done well. They've done very well.
Yes.
For sure.
I can see your cat over there, Anthony. I think he wants to come on the show.
Freaking yeah, I'm sure she does. Unbelievable.
I made sure I made sure to make sure the cat wasn't in the studio before I shut the door, because I was like, I'm going to be in the show and she's going to be scratching at the door and want to get out. But I made sure to get her out of here.
Hey, Lisa, can I piggyback on something you just said about, and I hear that all the time. And I even said, y'all, I said in every other video I do on Investing with Rod, never invest any of your hard-earned money that you can't afford to lose. I said in that way, you're hard-earned for a reason. I could easily say don't invest in any money you can't afford to lose, but I put hard-earned because a lot of times don't invest any money you can't afford to lose, yet we spend money every day and act like we can afford to lose it. We will buy coffee at $7 a cup. We'll buy some donuts. Then we'll go out to eat lunch. Then we don't feel like cooking when we get home because they didn't work us like a slave while we were at work. So we eat out again. And we just wasted money that we really couldn't afford to lose. Where Rod may eat out, but I'm going to find something reasonable. And then I'm going to take whatever else. I thought I was going to spend the coffee. I bought me a Keurig. The donuts, I quit doing that. And I took that money and invested so I can go take me a trip somewhere, see Tahiti or Bora Bora or something. I mean, have aspirations and goals.
Yes, but a lot of investment choices that you can make. I'm not trying to contradict what you're saying, but I think a lot of investments that you can make with your hard-earned money, with the quote-unquote throwaway money, extra money, wherever the money came from. If you invest in sound investments, you may have to wait a year if we're having a pullback or downturn, but it will recover. And that's what I don't want people to be afraid of investing. And that's why I like to stress and talk about these things, because I don't want anyone to think that investing can potentially lose them money. Now it can if you go into the wrong investments, but the investments like we've touched on tonight, like the total stock market, the S&P 500, It's proven. It is proven. There might be a 1, 2, 3 year even a pullback. There could be issues. There could be a year where it's only up the normal 10%, but then you can have the 2 years like we just had prior to 2025 and have an over 23% return for those 2 years because of the type of investment that it is. You don't have to worry that it's not going to recover. It's the total, it's America. It's going to recover. So.
Okay, you know, I got to have a rebuttal, but she's absolutely right. Don't be afraid to invest. I love it. I do say don't invest in money you can't afford to lose, because I can tell you, I know people that lost $250,000 and up when the pandemic happened because stuff got a little shady and then they really didn't have enough saved and they made some bad investments. But I'm gonna give you an example, Lisa. Lisa, I'm gonna jump over to crypto. Would you say Bitcoin is a sound investment?
Yes.
Jackie? Bitcoin, sound investment?
She's muted.
Oh, okay.
Jackie is muted.
I would say Bitcoin is a sound investment. But right now, just because I'm in a crypto mentorship, I think if I had to pick between Bitcoin and XRP, I would go with XRP.
Okay. XRP. All right.
It's an American crypto.
Y'all believe Bitcoin is sound? I mean, yes or no?
Yes, yes.
All right. Okay. Everybody, yes, 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 yes. I'm here to
No, I
tell
don't
you
think so.
the investment. I want everybody to write
say
this
no.
down. I want to write this down, and I'm gonna point. Let me see. Is it that way? No, it's the other way. I'm gonna point to this guy over here. No, this way. Let's do your research.
This is your research.
Bitcoin is the most sound crypto out there. Your boy Rod lost $14,000 on crypto, and crypto never dropped in price. It never dropped in price. Matter of fact, it went up the day I lost my money. The days I lost my money because I invested with Voyager, with Gemini, with Celsius. And alone, I know people that had all their money in Voyager. They took it out their Roth IRAs and put it in Voyager. And Voyager, Gemini, Celsius, BlockFi all went bankrupt. I lost $14,000 that I couldn't afford to lose on a sound investment.
That's a different circumstance.
Yeah, I gotta just mess with you, Lisa. I gotta mess with you. I gotta make it interesting.
That is the platform, and even if I've lived through the cycle of Bitcoin going down to less than 20,000, back up to 60, 70. That was unrealized. I just had to hold on and go through the cycle. But now it's what, 100? And now it's back up to what, 90?
It was 96 about an hour ago. 90,
yeah, nearly 97,000. So I just had to sit here and watch it go from 60 down to 16 and now back up to 96. But I never lost money. Your situation is a totally different thing. And I'm really sorry to hear that. But
I know it didn't bother me, Lisa. It bothered me, but what really hurt me, y'all, I'm talking about hurt me to the point where I couldn't imagine those people that I knew were pushing 60 and their entire retirement was gone. Gone.
Because
so now you
oh, sorry, Rob, where they were holding the crypto, it went bankrupt.
The company was holding the crypto.
That's why we got to transfer the crypto into a ledger.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's very important.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And I know, Rod, I know you said it takes time and to do that whole process. I've never done it. I sat with someone else that was doing it before. But yeah, that's what you have to do for your peace of mind going forward. If that is something, I don't happen to do it right now. I have my most of my crypto is on Webull Pay, but if that's what you need to do to make sure you're secure. Look into that if you guys are starting to build out a substantial position in crypto. So
Lisa, how do you like Weibo Pay?
I like it because I'm very familiar with it. So it's easier for me than crypto.com or Coinbase.
I love it. I love it. I think, matter of fact, that's another thing I heard from Lisa. I mean, I give credit where credit's due. I heard about Weibo Pay, I believe, watching Lisa's video. Only thing I wish that I could invest $5 instead of $10 minimums. I like that with Robinhood and the Fidelities and.
You don't have to invest $10 on Weibo Pay.
Well, I guess they got me on the. I may not be a good guy accountant because they won't let me do 5. I tried.
Oh, I'm quite sure. I'm quite sure. I invest smaller amounts than that.
Okay, I'm about to try here in a minute. So we finished this live with this. I'm gonna trade for $3. No, not invest, Lisa. Transfer. Like if I go from my bank to Weibo Pay, the minimum transfer is $10.
Oh, the transfer. Oh, I don't ever transfer that small of amount. I usually transfer enough for me.
I'm broken hungry over here in Dallas, man.
I'm saying if I'm doing a transfer, yeah, I would at least be transferring, enough for my investments to hold me for a little while. But guys, it's been a great conversation. Any closing thoughts? Anthony, why don't we start with you? What do you have? Am I putting you on the spot?
No, it's perfect. No, actually, I did want to say one thing and then a funny anecdote.
Okay.
One thing was kind of bridging the gap between a few people. So Rod mentioned something like, I want my money to be, I want it to be really hard to access my money in certain ways, at least as investments. So this way, you're not even like able to take it out. Should you be scared of something like that? And I forget who mentions earlier in the chat. They were like, how do you avoid the noise? And in my experience, because I've been burned on listening to the noise a couple of times, and one thing I found is if you have a lot of time, typically you go on Twitter or X, and that's where most of the noise is. Usually it's not from certain articles, even though it's always doom and gloom, but usually X. Like Twitter always has some sort of stories. It's the end of the world tomorrow, and it might be. But if if you continue listening to that, you're almost certainly, as your portfolio does drop and some of that news does come to fruition, you're going to end up selling your stocks for a loss. You're going to end up hurting yourself. And I think one of the main things is, like Rod said, make it hard to get your money out. And 2, probably just don't log into those apps. Don't look at a lot of those things. If you're invested in this one particular company, follow the financials, follow the money. Are they still performing at the rate that they said they were going to? Are they still increasing their cash flows? Are they executing on their business plan year after year? If that is all perfect and everything is sound, then I think you have to view your gains and losses, because he was also thinking like, oh, should I sell VTI and get NVIDIA? So again, you're listening to the noise, and then you're also forgetting the original reason you invested in something to begin with. But I think some people get held up on the I'm a loser today, but I couldn't be a winner tomorrow. And I think the time horizon that they think about their money is much shorter than it should be, because you might be looking at your friend who's killing it on NVIDIA today, but it could drop 50% 3 years from now, and meanwhile you're steady going up. You're up 50% by that time. So it's like, even though you might be a loser today, right? You might be down today. You might be doing very well over 5-10 years. So again, that's tough to get to. It's like, how do I pick the right stock, or how do I know I'm in the right thing? How do I know this time is different? Well, you don't know, and that's why you just do one thing. If it makes sense in your heart and everything is correct, the thesis, keep that forever. One funny thing I wanted to say is I think you guys, you say Bitcoin, is worth it, and some of these things. I think you're missing out on like the most important stock of our generation. I think it's the easiest returns. If you bought this company, you would have never basically lost money up until this day, and that's Domino's. I don't think people take Domino's seriously enough. I've been watching them, not invested, but for 4 years, They crush earnings every single quarter. They're always beating. If you look at their stock, you bought it in 2008. That was a $13 a share. It's $4.50 right now. It's the easiest 34x, and it basically never dipped. I think it's the funniest company I've ever looked at. If you look at the chart, it's like the most sound company you could possibly think of. So that was my funny anecdote. But yeah, take a look at Domino's every now and again. Just to not invest, but just look at them. You know, they're killing it.
Okay. How about you, Jackie?
I agree with everything that Anthony said. I mean, just basically, not listening to the noises, doing your own research, not having FOMO, the fear to, miss out when you're trying to purchase something. And just basically, even when you read something, you have to go back and research it to see if what they're saying or what you're reading, if it's on X or wherever you find it, to see if what you're reading is really correct before you go in and do any investments. So definitely agree with everything Anthony said. I mean, that's the way it should be on the responsible side. And I just want to tell you, Lisa, every time that I'm on with you, I always learn from you. And, you're more conservative, and I love that. I'm more risky. But when I hear you, I'm like, wow, she has great points. I should learn to be a little bit more conservative as well. So I love being on the panel with you, with everybody here.
Yeah, Rod, before you were here, we were talking about boring investments. You're just nodding your head. Okay, Sledge.
No, I want to add to that. That's something I was going to talk about. Investments, or even points to miles. Really, life is about patience. And you may get an investment. You may see Lisa talk about something. You may see Rod talk about something. And you may decide to buy it. And you just like, I don't know what I was looking for. Maybe I was looking for a roller coaster ride. Maybe I was looking to be on the NASCAR circuit. But I bought some XRP, and it just would not move. I bought it at like 33 cents. It would go up 2 or 3 cents, go down 2 or 3 cents, vice versa, and keep going. And I wanted to sell it and buy Bitcoin. But going back to what Lisa said about 25 minutes ago, that ledger is tough. And I said it is tough. So I didn't want to mess with it. And I said, well, I'm not messing. I don't feel like it. So I was lazy, to be honest. I had a boring stock that made Rod lazy. And when I finally went in there to say, okay, let me go ahead and mess with it, I noticed that XRP, well, actually before that happened, XRP started going up, and up. And I started buying, I'm like, I'm glad I didn't sell it. Went in there, and it was about $385 that I had in a boring investment that is now worth, as of the last time I recorded a video, which was yesterday or the day before, it's up to about $4,300. $385 up to $4,300 from a boring investment
That you held on to because you put it on the ledger and you didn't want the hassle of trying to take it off?
Going back to what Anthony and I've been saying, it was so hard to get my money out.
So if it was accessible to you, you probably would have sold it. That's
but no doubt, Lisa, I would have more Bitcoin right now.
Okay. I hope everyone's getting that part of the story. That's why I thought I should just say it out loud.
And I was crying because what do we hindsight is 2020. I can't speak for everybody else. I live in remorse. You look back and say, man, I know I should have bought that poster. I knew it was going to be worth $100 and it was only 10 when I saw it. We really don't know. But yeah, Lisa, boring, okay, lazy.
Okay. Yeah. I want to see a detailed story on a detailed video on that story, Rod. I hope that's coming soon.
Okay.
So Sledge, any closing thoughts for tonight?
Do your research.
Do your
research, man. Listen, I know my story is super boring, you know what I mean, as far as me and my stocks, but I would tell you one thing, and I'm gonna tell you one reason why I'm so into just holding, whatever I have. I bought full shares of Apple when it was $83 a long time ago. Mm-hmm. We know what it is now. right? And I'm not talking about portions. I didn't even know about buying portions of stocks back then. You know, like I'm buying full shares. So I'm all into the buy and hold game. Maybe like a couple years ago, I bought SoFi when it was $6. Right now it's 15. And you know, 15 isn't like anything crazy, but think I bought it for $6 and I bought a decent amount of shares. And I just sat on it even through the good and bad times of it, you know, because at one time it started going back towards $6. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm more boring with mine, but that's the way I do. But the good thing about this whole panel, if you go back and listen to what Jackie said earlier about her being more risky, Lisa being more conservative, I think my style is boring. But if anybody listen to us, they can get something from everybody, but they do their own research and get what works for them. So that's all I gotta say.
You know, you bring up a good point, Lisa. And I maybe you'll do a video on this. If you are, don't even just say I'm going to do a video. People say risky, like the older you get, and I'm probably the oldest person on this panel. And when it comes to investing, I'm probably the riskiest person on this panel. How do you feel, Lisa, about age determining risk when it comes to investing?
Oh, I definitely, I've gotten that question from people, like talking about, you know, I'm closer to retirement and things like that. But I mean, I think it's obvious that the older you get, the more conservative you should be with your portfolios. Imagine if you were in a target dated fund. That's exactly what they're built for, is to become more conservative as you get closer to, you know, those older ages, closer to the retirement age. So, you know, obviously I had a neighbor, his father sold his condo for, I'm sure it was a substantial amount of money, but his dad was like 90 years old. So there's not going to be any, you know, investing into the ETF and the this and the that. They basically just put the money into a savings account, you know, unless he's ready to start gifting to his grandchildren or something. A high yield savings account, that's all he's going to do at that age, because, you know, he's not in that grow your portfolio place. But so I definitely think the older you are, the more conservative you should be. But if you're in a position where you feel secure, like, you know, like you said, your military career, the career that you had after the military, you're pretty much set. Medical, like if I had to pay medical insurance out of my own pocket, that would be, you know, probably $1,400 a month. So the things that you've mentioned and what you shared about your personal, you know, finances and stuff like that. I don't know if your house is paid off, but your lifestyle, I think, allows you to be a more, not a conservative investor. You have the money and the knowledge in order to do different things. Someone else, I think they would have to be on a different path.
Man, Lisa just answered that perfectly. I think seriously, because that's kind of what I was alluding to. Everybody's different. Yeah. You know, I'm not saying get conservative as you get older and closer to retirement, but if you set yourself up, and I'm not talking about major moves, but think about your life. Like me, I'm going to get Social Security. Maybe it won't be here. I don't know. I have a retirement from the military. That's not going anywhere. And I have a 401k. That's 3 different sources of income that I have, plus the dividend accounts that I've set up, my brokerage accounts. So I feel like I can be a little more risky. But would I tell Johnny, a roll like Rod and be risky up until the day you retire? No, I would not. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't tell Johnny to do anything, but if I was a financial advisor, I would say, hey, Johnny, what do you have as far as income? And that's why I asked Lisa that question, because a lot of time people will look at read an article and have a blanket answer and think it covers everybody, and it doesn't.
Yeah, I'm definitely not comparing myself to you, Rod. You know, we all have different.
I'm trying to be like you. When I grow up, I don't watch your videos. I'd be like, I wonder how much she got. I just wonder how much she got.
And another thing is we all live in different states, and the cost of living can be very extreme. I heard someone talking on their live recently, and they were like, they want to move to a different state and they want to rent and not buy immediately. And they were like, yeah, I just want to rent a little apartment for $600 or something. I know, like, there's no $600 apartments anywhere in my state. You can barely, I don't think you can rent a room for $600 a month. So, everyone's circumstances are so different, but I think, you put in the work. Thank you for your service to the country, and you deserve what you have built for yourself, I'm sure. And, I'm not there yet. So
well, yeah, you have plenty of time. And Lisa just said something, y'all. A lot of times, and it just dawned on me, when you invest, think about cost of living. We don't know what the cost of living is going to be 5 years from now. We don't know, but we know it's going to be more in 2030 than it is in 2025. So adjust your investment accordingly to cover cost of living, and then learn from Sledge, Anthony, Jackie, a little bit of Rod, and a little bit of Chad, and all the other people out there, and how to travel for free, and you have more money to invest. Mm-hmm. I'm dropping the mic on that one. Hold up. Do I have a mic? No, I ain't like Sledge and Anthony. I got a pen.
Okay, guys, I want to say thank you for everyone who was able to join tonight that is on the panel with me, Jackie, Anthony, Rod, Sledge. I appreciate this chance. My first opportunity to host the community. It was a great discussion. I hope that I was able to throw out some good questions, and that the viewers on all of our channels that have been tuning in have enjoyed this conversation tonight. And so what is the schedule? You guys are going to be doing this every Sledge. Is it every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time?
We try to do it every Wednesday, but it's if time allows for everybody, somebody want to host or whatever. So for the most part, me, Joe, and Chad has been doing all the hosting. So what we're doing is we putting it out there for everybody to volunteer and just put it out there. Say you want to host, and it's on from there at 7 o'clock. At least one of us will be there. So
hey,
yeah,
I'll host the next one, Sledge. I'm gonna jot it down now. I mean, are we doing one next? When is it?
The next one's supposed to be JP Buffett, and the one after that's supposed to be Lisa. Not Lisa, Jackie. Sorry.
Okay, well, put me down for the third one, and then I just need to look at the date. We'll
for sure.
Okay, yeah. So guys, are there any other time slots of lives that anyone wants to share when they go live on their channel?
Go ahead, Anthony.
I mean, I tend to start being a little more sporadic, but I've been trying to do every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah,
okay.
We're doing a lot of real estate this Saturday, so it'll be fun.
Okay, I know Rod does not stick to a schedule. How about you, Jackie?
Hold up. Lisa, get it in. Hold up. I used to do Wednesdays, and then I moved to Wednesdays and Sundays, and I'm going back to Sundays. And then depending on how the community work, I'm probably going to incorporate back to Sunday one. So look for me Sunday nights on Points Blank Travel, and Tuesday nights on Investing with Rod, 8:05 p.m. Central Standard Time. Sunday, Points Blank Travel, Tuesday, Investing with Rod.
Okay. And I'm going to add you into the description. So guys, like I said, if you're watching on my side, everyone on the panel will be in the description. So go check out their channels. And thank you so much for tuning in tonight. That's it.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Lisa.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.